Hi there, Susan C. here with another Mentor for Moms moment. I want to share this time about good communication. What does it look like? How can we teach our children to be good communicators? Because truly, we all know that we suffer enough in this world from bad communication, miscommunication, misunderstanding, not hearing, not listening. What can we do within our own families to help that to no longer be an issue? We can all do our small part. And when we each do our small part, it makes a big difference. So here's one of the things that we do within our home. We have shared that the definition of good communication is two parts. One, it's verbal. Two, it's written. And they both go together. So if we want to communicate a message to our children, we want to communicate some expectations to them about, what's happening. Oh, here's a classic one. When there are requests like, hey, Mom, can you take me to practice tomorrow at 1 o'clock? Yes, I can. We've had a verbal exchange. Now, the next step is that they get to go over and put that request in writing by putting it on my calendar, by putting a reminder or post-it note on my front door, by asking for my phone to put it on my calendar on my phone with a reminder. Some kind of way it's going to be written down so that it's not just something they're asking me to remember. Because too many times we've been in the car and they've said, Mom, next time you're at the grocery store, could you buy some more of whatever it is they want, right? And I go, yeah, sure. And now what's just happened? I've agreed to something that I was in no position to write down. So now I'm having to hold this in my mind, while I'm also trying to hold in my mind what the next thing we're going to do when we get home to prepare lunch or dinner. And then I need to remember I was supposed to call someone back. And oh yeah, I need to remember to, and you know what I'm saying? Like the list of what I'm trying to remember is just infinite. And my brain cannot handle that. Our brains were not designed for us to hold all of that information. Our brains were created to create ideas, not hold them and harbor them and archive them for us. That just does not work. So I've now made an agreement with my child. Hey, I will do this for you next time I go to the store. I'll go to the store. I'll come back. And guess what? I don't have whatever it is I told them that I would get. I've forgotten it. But what happens in that moment? Do I just simply say, oh, I forgot it? No, I feel bad. And they, oh gosh, they can look at you with the saddest eyes and make you feel like, what? I'm just not important. You didn't remember that thing that I asked you to get, and I asked you twice, Mom. I asked you 3 times. Whatever. And you're like, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to forget it. And we get into this thing, and I go, no. Let's not play that emotional game. Like, let's not, because it's a one game nobody wins, right? Instead, let's practice good communication. Make a request of me, and then write down your request. That way I have another touchstone that's more concrete, that's not relying on me to remember everybody's stuff. So here's the thing. As my children get older, they know that if that request is not written down, it does not get fulfilled. Done. Period. Now, what do we do for little ones who maybe can't write? I have even asked them to draw me a picture. And then when they bring me the picture, I get to physically write what that is. Some kind of way, I'm just teaching them how to make that request in writing on their level, okay? If they're not even able to draw anything, I tell them, ask Mama again and make sure Mama writes it down. Because if they're old enough to make a request, trust, they're old enough to make sure that you're writing it down. And that's teaching our children how to be good communicators, that they ask for something and they follow up in a way that supports the person who's trying to fulfill their requests. Not just making demands of people, but they're supporting you in fulfilling the request that you're agreeing to. So you're in agreement with it. Now you're just looking for support and getting it executed, not in a way that creates demands and blame and guilt, but instead helps you to move forward in an intentional and purposeful way, because I'm all about that. That second part is the verbal. So we have the verbal request, and then it must be in writing. It's a 2-part thing for good communication. No more of the saying stuff on the fly, and then as mom, we're supposed to be the keeper of all information for the family. That just doesn't work. No more making requests and then stating a need to someone who's not the person who needs to fulfill it. Oh my goodness, how many times have I had my children tell one another that they need something, and then they all agreed, but nobody told me. Oh yeah, I need new shoes for my orchestra performance next week. You do? Who'd you tell? Oh, I was talking about it with my sisters. I didn't tell you? Yes or no? Like, that's great that your sisters agreed with you that the shoes you have don't fit or they're beyond repair. That's awesome. But they're not the ones who will be to take you to the store and make sure that you get the shoes that you need. So just as much as you're saying it verbally, that's nice. Make sure you're saying it to the person that matters. It doesn't do any good for you to tell me that you need to get to practice if your father or your brother is going to be the one to drive you. You need to have that conversation with them. Please don't make a demand on me that you said it to me and you thought I would go and take care of it and tell them. If it's someplace you're trying to get, make sure you're communicating to the person who needs to be involved in this conversation, to the person who's going to help fulfill the request that you have. Your requests for good communication must be first verbal, and then they must be followed up with written, and that, my friends, is good communication. I hope that this tip has been helpful to you. I am Susan C., your mentor for moms. Bye for now.